Hello everybody, welcome to another Move Better sequence on the mat. My name is Camilo Jimenez. Thank you so much for clicking. And today I'm bringing to you another juicy juice stretching, beautiful on the mat. Usually I cover mobility, stability, and strength. Today I'm gonna spend a little bit more of time on the stretching aspect. Now, for those who don't know the difference between mobility and flexibility, I'm just gonna put it very simple. When we talk about mobility, we are talking a little bit more about the joint and the range of motion of the joints. When we talk about flexibility, we are accessing or talking a little bit more in regards to the musculature, but those two go hand by hand. So we usually want to train one of the other or both at the same time if it's possible, but today I'm going to spend a little bit more time on the flexibility aspect. Now, one of the keys one of the things that most of us struggle, including myself, is that hamstring, you know, in most of us is so tight. Usually, whatever the condition it is just tight and we can never get it to move. Today, we're gonna spend enough time to make that hip feel so much better and those knees feel so much better. So please grab a mat, follow along with me, some water if you guys need to, and I'm gonna start in a few seconds. Also, grab if you don't have, just grab a towel. Mine is not super long. It's easier to manipulate, in my opinion. I'm gonna go on my back. If you guys have a yoga block, 2 yoga blocks, phenomenal. Now, phenomenal, Dieguito, phenomenal. Now, everybody, we're gonna lay down. We're gonna start in here in a second. I'm gonna test my watch. Now, guys, for this one, I'm doing this with my leg straight, supported, because I want to make sure that my lumbar is supported, right? Then from here, if you're doing this at the very beginning of the day, it's going to be a little bit more challenge. Maybe after a walk, maybe after a run, it's going to be slightly easier. I'm doing this like fresh, cold, not necessarily cold, but I haven't done any aerobic movement yet. So from here, what I'm doing is not only I'm extending, I want to oppose with my hand, okay? This is a very basic stretching system that most of you know. Still is good to do it. Still, many people think that is not necessarily. I believe that is still very important to do it. So from here, what I want to do is to press my knee to stretch. I'm going to hold that leg. I'm trying to oppose that. I'm resisting, and release. Just do it for a couple of times. You might notice that the muscles start accessing. Please do not rush the process. You cannot rush this process. And you cannot get frustrated because there's a reason why it's been tight for a long time, right? So don't get frustrated. You don't have to lift the head. Usually we lift the head because it's uncomfortable to keep it down. So try to force yourself to keep it down. Hold that knee extension. I'm trying to force myself to stretch a little bit more. Maybe I will gain the full range, maybe I won't, doesn't matter. The important thing is that you are trying. How many times? Do about 5 to 6 and spend maybe 3-4 minutes on each leg. Unfortunately, I cannot do it for that long because of the beat. Then the video is gonna turn super long and then you guys are gonna get bored. Anyway, before I continue stretching in here, I hope you guys are already thinking or giving me a like or subscribing to the channel because it's the only way YouTube will show it to you. Otherwise, YouTube will not show it to you if you guys do not subscribe. Yes or yes? Am I stretching enough? Can I stretch maybe a little bit more? Maybe. The only thing that I don't want to is overexceed the limits of my musculature. This one is also gonna start releasing a very important muscle in the back. It's gonna allow me to do so many things. Then after this, I wanna keep that leg straight. I wanna control the descent. As I'm controlling that descent, I'm making sure that my right leg is pressing into the block. So my lumbar spine is super controlled. Guys, listen to me, if you guys are not doing this movement, losing, you guys are losing, you guys are bleeding money in terms of movement. Please start adding it. This is super important for your back health, super important. I cannot stress it enough. Last one. Let's do it on the other side because I didn't do it. Why do I want you to do this? Because I want you to access that hamstring and then give me this movement. This is a way to test it. If I can perform the movement without compromising on my lumbar spine, can I maybe create so much contraction in this anterior part of my abdominals? Yes, yes or yes. Last one, everybody. Now, moving along, I'm gonna access now to the hamstring in a different way. Keep that leg elevated, maybe. Try to use now the towel. Now, maybe just for you sitting in this position is a little bit too much. You wanna rest your body against the wall, that's fine. And then from there, can we test this stretch? Little by little, little by little. Maybe it's too much, maybe it's too high. Maybe I wanna bring it lower. But you will never know if you don't test it. Now, what I'm doing with my hands is that I'm pressing the femur back. That is going to give me a very nice, juicy, juicy, juicy juice. Hold that stretch for a moment. If you feel that you can extend the knee completely, great. If you need to bend it a little bit more, that's fine. Just try to hold the position, paying attention to the breathing, paying attention to other stress receptors. Am I lifting my shoulders? Am I changing my breathing? Is my breathing changing so much that my movement is changing? Pay attention to that. The switch. Yes, a little bit more of that hamstring stretch. Maybe I can extend the spine. Maybe it's difficult. That's what I'm telling you. You probably want to use the wall. Now, hold it for a little bit. Test it again. Maybe I can extend it, maybe not. Maybe I need to lower. That's fine. The most important is that you don't alter your breathing yet. Control it. Stay steady with that breathing, steady with your movement, and rest. All right, now after this one, can I go and stretch a little bit of my quad? I showed that in my last video. I wanna show it to you a little bit more in this position. You guys already know how important that flexor, that hip flexor, everybody talks about it. We all talk about it. Why? Because it's important, because we have to address it. We cannot address it enough. For some people it's easy, for some people it's not that easy. The most important thing is that we are addressing it. Now, can we make this one 2x, 10x? Yes, we can, with a little bit of lateral flexion. Let me show you from this view. Now, the most important as I'm doing this lateral flexion is that my spine is not rounded, that my elbow, listen, my elbow is correlating with this portion of my body. If my elbow is here, it's not correlating, right? I want to press it back. That immediately is sending that information to my mid spine to stretch. And then I'm going to hold it, I'm going to hold it, and then return back to center. Can I do it a couple of times without bringing the back? Try at home. Try to do that move a few times. 3. Yes, I know I'm counting through the. I'm not counting number of repetitions, so don't get confused with that. Switch, everybody. It's going to be so much easier to move today after you guys do this. Believe me. Believe me what I'm telling you. So remember, my pelvis is moving like this, anteriorly. So this is my pelvis, and then I'm moving it like this. So I'm projecting my tailbone towards my eyes, okay? If you guys wanna see a little more in depth what I meant by that, just put it on the chat, put it in your comments. I read every single comment. Please, that is very important to me. As important as remembering you that you have to subscribe and that you have to like the video, right? Is the least that we can do to support the channel. If you guys are enjoying, if you are not enjoying and you gotta give me a thumbs down, that's fine too. You are entitled of your opinion. One more time, remember where that elbow is sitting in relation with the rest of my hip, with my hip. So it's not sitting in here, it will be in front of my hip. I wanna bring it up here. So the chest immediately corrects the position. And then back to center. How was that? How was that? Was that okay? What about a little bit of, now for this one, if you guys have problems, maybe you want to add something under the knee that decreases the pressure. If your knees are arthritic, this might not be the best one. And then stretch your quads a little bit. Yes. Now, few options with this. If you bring your knees closer together, you're gonna access a different head of that muscle. Not necessarily is better or worse, you're just gonna access a different portion of it, but it's going to be a little bit harder. Now, maybe going back is a little too much. Maybe your feet are like, no. Important information. The feet should be able to do that, okay? So, if just being in this position is too much for your feet, elevate them. Maybe this is a little too much elevation and it's uncomfortable, but you wanna just elevate them, okay? Support the ankle joint. I'm just gonna provide you with so many things that you can do, because this is the thing, guys. Lack of movement is not an option. That's what most of the people have a discrepancy. I'm not gonna do it because it hurts. No, actually you have to do it so it stops hurting, right? It's the only way that it's going to stop hurting. You just have to modify and stay out of the pain. You don't have to be in pain. Move to the pleasure. Move to the pleasure side of the movement. Stay out of the pain, no need. But maintain the movement. Last one, everybody. Now, after this, the downward facing dog. Downward facing dog is another movement that you guys need to start doing. But in order for me to do that, maybe my shoulder and my mid spine is locked. So I'm gonna use some sort of elevation. If you guys don't have elevation, let me show you. From here, I'm gonna press my chest down, simultaneously rotating my thumbs up. And as I'm doing that, sorry, I'm just watching so I don't take too much of your time and I don't lose the track. As I'm doing that, I'm pressing the chest down. From here, I wanna bring my chin. This is mobility of the spine, it's flexibility of the shoulders, it's mobility of my hips. From here, can I look up and can I bring my head down? This stupid movement, what we're trying to do is mobilize a little bit of that thoracic spine that it requires so much attention. Maybe frozen shoulder, oof, difficult. Okay, now I wanna elevate it. If the shoulder is frozen, maybe this is going to be better. The only thing that I need you to force yourself is to keep that elbow joint extended as much as possible. When the shoulder is compromised, the elbow wants to bend. So keep it straight. Even if you have to support more of your forearm, maybe that's going to be easier for your shoulder, not sure. You have to test it. Anyway, I think I'm talking too much like a politician. There we go. Nobody likes politicians, right? Nobody likes politicians. Now, from the same thing, maybe to the side, maybe you guys have those Swiss balls, big balls. Great. I don't have it with me right now. I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna access to another portion, which is the chest. That also is going to give me, this is going to give me a tremendous relief. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm just letting my chest come closer to the ground. Maybe I wanna try it like this with my arm extended. The biggest thing is that I wanna feel that musculature stretches away. You can also do this with in the frame of a door, standing you know? You probably have seen that. Yes, it's common. Maybe you have seen it, maybe you have never done it. But if you are not doing it, I extremely recommend you this, especially if you spend a lot of time on the computer. We wanna make sure that those joints move. There's some juicy juice from there. After this amount of movement, I'm gonna rest it. Then I really like, guys, that we can test at some point the squatting, but because the squat is such a complex movement, I want to start adding a few other elements. Now I'm going back to my 90-90 because I want to show you another element in here that is super important. Maybe it's too difficult for you just to get here. You want to elevate your pelvis a little bit, and that's much better. And then from there, extend the leg. When I'm extending the leg, my femur is facing up, my kneecap faces up. That's super, super key. And then what if we add having that flexibility or testing the flexibility of the hamstring? What if I add a little bit of rotation of my mid spine? That is so necessary. What if this is taking my breath away, Camilo? Well, that is telling you something. That is telling you that you probably are not mobilizing enough that midsection. There we go. Can we test the other side? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. How are we doing at home? Give me a thumbs up. Even though I cannot see you, I can feel you. I can feel you, everybody. Now, from here, same process. I'm using this because it's so much comfortable. It's so much easier. If you guys don't have it, I truly recommend you. I'm gonna leave it on the description. I mean, it's a couple of yoga blocks. There's nothing cheaper than that. And they're going to make your life so much better, so much entertaining. Last one, everybody. A little bit of rotation. Hold them maybe for a little bit, 3, 2, and release. What if we use this again? What if you use it to test our squat? Use it because it's so much, and also because I can show you what I'm looking for in here, and is the position of my feet, the relation of my tibia, the relation with my femur. All of that makes a big difference. One hand is going to be on the ground. I'm going to lock with my arm the movement of the leg because she eventually wants to do this. So I'm locking, and then access again this beautiful system. Remember, we do this, we did this before. I want that elbow to sit in relation with my hip bone as much as possible. Inhale through the nose and feel the benefit, okay? You have to feel the benefit. If this is painful, this is uncomfortable, if you are negative in your head about the movement itself, oh, I cannot do it, it's stupid, oh, this is so difficult, you are not getting any benefit, because the benefits of movement begin in our central nervous system. Muscles are flesh, and bones are just bones. We want to alter this. We want to alter starting from this and feeling that, oh my God, this is so great. And if it's not that great, well, lie to yourself, smile. If you probably have lied so many times, so well, I don't want to imply that from you guys, but sometimes we have to lie to ourselves to make something greater. Yes, and that sounds counterproductive. Lying to yourself, well, sometimes we say so many lies to ourselves, but I'm just getting a little too philosophical in here, of things that we believe that are not true. So now lie to yourself so your body can actually progress. I'm fine. Is it hard? Well, it might be difficult, but if it's not painful and it's a little hard, well, I'm getting something, right? There we go, everybody. Last one. And then from here, if you guys want to test it without this, great. I'm not gonna do it because I don't have more time, but just so you guys know how beautiful can be after all of that movement sequence. Now, slow, always slow. Let's find ourselves returning back to the center with purpose, with control. not letting that the gravity pull that down. You know, acting with the gravity, understanding that. 3, 2, 1, and thank you so much, everybody. One more time for clicking, for staying until the end of the video. Please do not forget to subscribe and give me a like, because that's the way you guys show support to this channel. Leave me in your comments what else, what things would you guys wanted to see in regards to movement, stability, and strength, using the mat and using your own body. Thank you so much. Hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Bye-bye.